And we are live.
Yeah.
Another Thursday episode of the Triple Profits Podcast. All right, JD, go ahead, open us up, man.
Oh, for sure, man. So welcome back to the soon-to-be number one small business podcast in the world. We taking over YouTube, every podcast outlet that you're looking at. We just want to say welcome back. We know we have been on a hiatus, but we are glad to be back. Glad to see my brothers. What's going on? On my right, we got my brother Marcus, the Money Man Harris. And on my direct, what's going on, Marcus? Go ahead, man. Say what's up, man.
I'm throwing the money up, man. Throw the money
There
up.
we go. I like that. Do the money dance. And on my direct bottom, we have the guru, Tavante Hughes. How you doing, Ru?
Great. Meditating always.
Oh, I love it. See how peaceful he come in. See how mellow. He didn't even try to yell back at me. He went, yeah.
You know what? The thing is that the meditation keeps the old Tavante in check. That's the one that loses temper and curses and shit and gets irritated. So we have to keep his ass in check sometimes.
Got you. Okay, keep him cool. We like in check holiday Tavante, man.
Yeah,
we like that.
Smiling. Everything is great.
Love it, man. So hey, how was y'all Thanksgiving?
It was good, man. Real good. Got to eat. Spend some time with the family. We out in California, but we didn't get any visitors this time, but it was real nice. Second COVID Thanksgiving. Uh-oh, did I say the word?
You did. You're going to get his flag. You're going to get his flag. That's what I like to hear, man. How about yours, Vontae?
It was good, man. Real laid back, real chill. I didn't spend time with family that day. My mom actually worked, but we ended up getting together on that Sunday, which is my birthday, and we had a good time. It was nice hanging out with my sister, my mom, and my niece.
Yeah. Right on, man. Yeah, same here. I ended up driving up north to Stockton, my hometown, hung out with family, did the quick bounce around. Then the week after that, as y'all know, I was on a plane out in San Antonio, watching my son get his Air Force ceremony.
Awesome.
Going, yes, sir. Going from boot camp to really out there. So he's doing this thing. But man, I've been waiting to get back on the grind. Shoot, came right back to business, showing homes and getting some escrows open. But we know Christmas is around the corner, let alone, and then right after Christmas we got New Year's. So that was a big thing. I know we're kind of, me personally, I know I've been kind of settling down, buckling down with the escrows I got going on, but preparing more so for 2022 in the next couple of weeks. And that was a big thing we wanted to talk to you guys about today. Just how to say it again, Marcus, how we break that title down. You drop some bars. I'll let you spit.
Say, what business owners should do to prepare for 2022? I got it written.
I see it. Yeah, you got it. Still bars. You wrote it down. So, man, yeah. So we just wanted to kind of touch on some of the things that we're doing to prepare and, to go over some of the mistakes that we've seen people make getting ready for the new year. So for me, one of the biggest things I want to talk about was goal setting. Goal, I think a lot of people, as you know, when the new year comes around, it's a great time to reset, whether it be your mindset, reset your goals, reset where you're aiming your targets. It's I'm one of those people that believe New Year's can be every week, but I know from a general public idea, New Year's is the go-to date to really hold yourself accountable and start the year off right, so you can create some good habits, and have some success. So that was one of the biggest things I kind of want to talk about. So for me, what I like, and I see a lot of people like to do visualization, visual boards, things like that, writing down the goal. Some people just like to straight out write down the goal, say what they're going to do. But I think that's, you shouldn't stop there. I think it's a great starting point, but I think you shouldn't stop there. What I've learned is what you want to make, and I hate this, it's cliche, but they say SMART goals. and say SMART goals. And this is basically an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time, and setting a timetable for your goals. It sounds very, very cliche, but it's what you want to do when you're actually pursuing a goal. Because I know me, I'm very analytical. I need a plan. Setting up just a straight vision board ain't gonna get it done for me. I need a plan for each thing on my vision board, so I know every day that if I'm doing, even though I know I'm not going to hit my goal directly the next day, that's me being realistic with myself, make sure my goals are attainable. I know if I do a certain thing every day and make it a habit, I will hit my target. So one of the big things for me, with me being in real estate, I know I need to talk to a certain amount of people daily to get a goal. So, I can't just write down, I want to sell 10 homes next year, just make the number simple. So for me, when I say I want to sell those 10 homes, I have to figure out, okay, how many people do I need to talk to about real estate to get to that goal? Because I'm going to get more no's than I'm going to get yeses. So I know on average, I need to talk to about 75 to 100 people to get one deal. Okay. So that means for me, every day, I need to be focused on talking to a certain amount of people. I need to talk to about 1,000 people a year. So what I'll do is I'll sit and figure out, and this is a big thing too, making sure you take some time to set your goals. I will sit and figure out how many days in the year do I plan on working. So I'll include my birthday, holidays, just BS bullshitting days that I don't feel like doing nothing. All of those days I take into consideration, and then I come with the number of how many days I'm going to actually work. So let's just say, for rough estimate, let's say it's 100 days of the year that I plan on work. That's a low number, but let's just say for easy numbers. If I work 100 days in the year, I need to talk to 10 people a day to hit my 1,000.
Yeah.
And what I figured out with that, now, one, it keeps me focused. If things aren't going well, I know eventually when I'm talking to these people, there's going to be a goal that strikes. Sometimes I'm going to get there faster than the 100. Sometimes I'm going to get there slower. But as long as I can focus on that number and keep in line with what I need to do every day, nothing else matters. The highs, I don't get too high on myself. I don't get too low on myself, because I'm focused on that goal. I'm focused on what I can do daily to attain that. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of foul up. When things don't start going their way, they get discouraged. And then by February, you're changing your goals, or you're not talking about your goals no more. Like that 30 pounds ain't coming off as easy. Well, shit, how many days did you actually work out during January? How many days was you eating sheet meals? You aren't getting you aren't getting enough deals in escrow. Or how many people have you talked to? How many doors have you knocked on? So I think that's one of the big things. Make sure when you're getting ready to set yourself up and taking this time to plan your year, you got to remember, like, this is important, and like really, really establish the time and set some time aside to do this, because what you're planning for your year can turn into what you're planning to do for your year can bleed into your 3 to 5 year plan, and bleed into your 5 to 10 year, and then bleed into your retirement. But you gotta start now. You got to start creating good habits.
Break that down again, because think about it, man. You just said 3-year, 5-year plan. Most people can't get past the next month, man. When you set goals for the year, for everybody who's watching, you have to set the goal for the year and be consistent with that. You can't set it I'm going to do this for the year and do it 1 month and stop and say the results aren't there. You can't do it for 6 months and say the results aren't there. You have to really think out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and execute. So a 1-year plan is the minimum you should have, especially as a business owner. You should already know where you're shooting for 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. In the fourth quarter of every year, you get to this point, you got taxes coming up, holidays, you got people getting sick, right? Because the weather changes. And then all of a sudden you have all these pressures on you at this time of the year going into the next year where you want to have a clean slate. man, the budget process has to start earlier. The consistency has to be throughout the year. So when you get to December, you won't feel the pressure about having to hit the reset button every year. You should be continuing your plan at the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I love what you said about JD is the commitment to kind of what Marcus was saying is, like this idea of being committed to a goal and not letting the lack of results waver you in the short term, because really it's all about practice that makes that thing a part of who you are and the repetition of it. And so sometimes it's not as just easy as I did A plus B and I should get C. It's more I did A plus B 20 times, and then it started to really kick in with my body or my mind or whatever I'm trying to change, that habit, trying to change. It became this new habit, and it became like how I thought about things. It became how, who I am. That's what we're all doing. We're just really just changing who we are, and that who we are is a process of changing, because who we've been has been there for so many years, and now we're trying to change the trajectory of our mind and our thoughts in another direction, which is going to take some time. It's not hard work. It's just consistency. It's being consistent. And that just takes repetition. I think about all the greats, Jordan, Kobe, Bo Jackson. I love Bo Jackson.
I'm right there with you. The one Raider I love.
Those greats. Man, these people were like gods in sports, but they didn't become gods in sports by doing it one time a week. They were repetitiously shooting 10,000 jumpers, catching the ball 1,000 times, running that route until it became like a memory, So I think we can take that same mentality in our business environment and really just commit to it. Commit to the process of just doing this until it's really just us.
Right. No, man, that's a great point, Devontae. I think that kind of goes into what you wanted to bring up too, was setting your mindset for that. Because I think a lot of people, like you said, they see these greats and think that it's just talent, or think, they just, they were just born like that. And they don't understand that these people had the mindset to be the best. And they may be more talented than, and there are going to be people out there that are going to be more talented than you physically, going to be more talented than you from a business standpoint, understanding and doing the math. But if you can set your mindset that if they can do it, you can figure it out too. I think you can kill it. You know what I mean? But no, touch on that a little bit more, man, on like getting the right mindset going into the next year.
So I think that the thing that separates great business owners from like ones that try to do business but are not really haven't reached their greatness yet, I'll say it like that, is they that part what the thing is they're doing what you're talking about. They're committed to it, right? They have their mindset that this is going to happen, right? They may not know how it's going to happen. They may not be a natural, whatever it is, but they quickly make mistakes and take responsibility for their mistakes and correct them. They're not blaming other people for their mistakes. They're not blaming systems for their mistakes. They're not blaming their lack of white skin for their mistakes. They're not blaming anything else. They're just saying, this happened. How can I take responsibility for it? How can I make the adjustment? How can I change it and make it happen? And I'm pretty sure we all have examples of this. And sometimes it's harder than other times where you have to admit to yourself that you can't really fuck it up, but you can say to yourself, I just fucked it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I really did mess that up. You know what I'm saying? And how can I really make that something new? So like, for instance, one thing I realized too is that just recently is that, so as I'm trying to build a private side of my business, this private side of transportation, I know a lot of people think about the bottom line. They think about that price point. They want to have a price point that's going to be profitable. And that's a good thing to do in your business, right? The thing is also, you got to look at your market and you got to look at what they can afford. And if your service the people that are around you are not seeing your service as a value, it may be because of the culture of what they have, what they have available. They may not be able to afford your service. So looking at those niches to see, okay, how can I make my service more attractive? Sometimes it's price, sometimes it's the quality of service, sometimes it's a lot of things. What I did recently was like, initially I was thinking like, man, I want to make this amount of money per transport, because I talked to a mentor and he was getting that, right? But he's in a different area. That may not fly for me, I had to humble myself and say, folks may not be able to afford my prices,
There you go. What Joe say? Yesterday's price isn't today's price.
Today's price.
and for some folks who business own, they think, no, I have a great service. This is what I do. They're like ego. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want to get paid. But it's like, okay, if I'm gonna get paid, say my price is $50, right? If I get paid 2 of those, is that better than getting paid $10, $15 trips? You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it, and you got to look and say, okay, really just take yourself away, detach yourself from the business and taking everything so personally, but looking at what you want to do and how are you going to get there. And don't make any assumptions. I think that's my mindset, at least. Don't make any assumptions about what if we did do that? How would that turn out? Run the numbers. How would that look? And then you may look and say, you know what, man, that's actually pretty good. We're really hitting more customers. We're doing frequent trips. We're doing shorter trips, and we're making a whole lot more money than we would have been if we would have been charging this amount of money. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's a starting point. Maybe that's your entry point. You build this up, and then the people start recognizing that you have a great service, and they start really wanting to work with you, and they're willing to pay for it. So now you can say, we have so much great demand, we're actually going to go up on prices a little bit, So I would say just looking at what you're doing without the ego, looking at your mistakes, and be ready to commit to changing them on the spot as fast as possible.
Fail fast, learn fast.
Yes.
So let's go back. Let's stay on this price subject real quick, because I see all the time on Facebook and other spots where people are like, you can't charge this much if your service is this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that, man? Those type of posts.
Talk a little more about that. I'm not reading it.
So I see all the time, like black business owners, their prices are too high. The recent one was like the prices are always too high when the product is not, sufficient or not good enough. It's like ragging on the business owner versus I want to do business with someone, but the product isn't up to the standard. When I see a lot of those posts, man, I know it's different businesses out there and everybody has their own way of doing different things, and people have price points for certain reasons. I think it kind of goes to a mindset thing, and
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And like Tavante, to kind of piggyback on what you were talking about before, it goes to the different clients. Everybody's not your client.
Man, I think it can be a few things, especially like, so one, if you're talking black business, I think that can be a lot of issues that we have socially and culturally amongst ourselves. You know what I mean? That we put an extra level of doubt amongst each other at times. I think this new era and this new wave is definitely breaking through a lot of that, where we aren't feeling that way as much. But I know that's part of where that comes from, and that goes back to what you're saying, that trap mindset, that mindset that thinks and feels like that, But then if we eliminate that portion of it, and we're just talking, like you said, it's about price point. Your goal as a business over time may be that. It may be to weed out people that aren't in your price point. If you have a high ticket item and you started off at a certain point, you're going to get a certain clientele first. You know what I mean? So if you're starting at a low price point, you may get a lower mindset clientele. You may start off with people that are on that same level and elevate with you. But I know it's a catch-22, because if your price is too low, your product's no good.
Yeah.
If your price is too high, it's not worth all of it. So it's finding that middle balance and finding your true client and customer that is going to be basically attracted to the service you're providing versus how much it costs. Because at the end of the day, man, hey, I don't see Lamborghini going out of business.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They selling $500,000 cars on the law all the time, and they ain't got no commercials on TV. I ain't seen one commercial on TV. So somebody's their clientele, ain't nobody bitching about dropping that money. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Toyota, So there's a base out there, no matter what product you're selling and how high or low you're selling it for, you have a base out there. It's just figuring out who you want to deal with. I think that more so.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marcus.
I was gonna say, man, weeding out the low, clientele or perceived low. It's low. I tell you today, I had to drop a client, one of our contractors today, just because over time I monitored the data and I see their prices that we get to charge out were here, and then over time they nickel and dime us, and I just had to cut them off today, right in the middle of the busy season, because they're trying to squeeze and be tight, but they're not our client anymore because we're servicing more higher end stuff. And I think as a new business owner, your audience is your friends and family and people in the community, and it's going to take time to get. You're going to want to serve that community, but what you produce may not be for that community out the gate or that particular product. And I think the faster that you understand that, the more you can, stabilize your business and be able to have a stable revenue coming in.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I think what you guys hit on was two great points of like your customer. From my standpoint of my business, my customer is, the money is important, obviously, because at the end of the day, I got to be profitable. So I got to get paid something, and it's got to be worth the time that I'm putting out. Other thing is too is that the personality trait of the client is important too. So if I have clients who appreciate the service, they're valuable, then I start looking at that as actual dollars too, because that value add and that loyalty is going to bring other customers too. Like the best motive of marketing is mouth to mouth. So my client base is older and they have older friends, and I'm getting referrals from other people. Then I want people who appreciate the service, value the service, and going to talk great about it. Now, I think that you can have customers who are lower price, but they really value the service and they bring more to the business because they're talking great about it. Maybe they don't want to pay a lot, but they're really great, loyal customers. But then there are other customers who want cheap prices, and they are so like, they feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? Privileged. Entitled. Thank you. I'm looking for that word, entitled. Not only do they want the cheap prices, but they feel like on top of the cheap prices, they should be entitled to like
they want a glass of champagne with the ride.
The worst customers ever.
And I tell my client, I had a older woman riding with me. She said to me, because she canceled once, she canceled twice. And I said, Miss Such and Such, I know you want our service and we love that you use our service, but you gotta understand that when you cancel, there's someone else who could be taking that service, and we want to support our customers. We value our customers. I got in the car with her and she was like, don't you go off on me like that. And I had to respectfully tell her. It's so funny how this worked out because now we're the best of friends, you know?
Right.
And I told her, I was like, Miss Such and Such. She was like, well, some folks may not want to use your service. And I said, Miss Such, that's okay. That's okay. Because this is a partnership. We're supporting customers as they're supporting the business. It can't work one way over the other. If such person doesn't want to use our service, that's okay. There'll be someone else who will value our service. But we want to make sure that we're going to keep our appointments. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting you know respectfully, if you don't keep your appointment, you cancel three strikes, you're out. We're not going to drive you. And she looked at me like, who the hell you think you are? But now we cool as hell, you know what I'm saying? Now we just cool as the pie, you know, it's awesome. So
go ahead.
I just think it's like, I think sometimes maybe when people think about lower tier customers, they think about attitudes, and that's not always the case. Yeah. Sometimes you can have some lower tier customers who bring so much value in other way, you know? And yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, man, how you set, you having that conversation and setting your boundaries and expectation, how you're going to run your business and what you expect from her as a customer, that helps you create a true loyal customer and somebody that is about your brand. Some people are scared to have that conversation or think like that. And you got to, like you said, like, you got to know, like, hey, these are my boundaries. This is what I expect. This is how we're going to handle business. If you don't like that, that's okay. There are other people that will provide the same service and they may be a better fit for you. But this is what I expect. You know, I think that helps eliminate so much stress and headache too.
Hey,
that man.
So I tell you, just to keep on the topic, man, 2022 planning. You know, after you're in business for so long and you're able to understand what your avatar, what your ideal customer looks like, you have to have a plan to change up your marketing. And, you know, I'm not necessarily talking about just spending the dollars, but what your website says. You know, are you relating to the type of customer that your business serves? Right. So if you're not relating or having Facebook, I believe you got to have a Facebook business page. You got to have some kind of social presence that represents what you're doing, but it has to mirror your ideal customer and their values and what they want to receive from the service. So if you take the time and plan that out going into next year, that'll help you, you know, eliminate some of the headaches, right? So we have call scripts where we purposely make sure they know it's going to be $100 before we come. And the goal is, you know, we're going to show up. It's going to be $100. If you can't spend $100 for us to come out, then you aren't our customer, because we service, you know, the Samsungs, the higher end stuff, and we don't want to waste our times doing stuff that you don't want to pay for. So it's all different types of ways that you can do to kind of weed out or narrow down to your perfect type of customer, your avatar. But man, it saves headaches on the back end. I hate those. I hate the Yelpers, man. I got a bad Yelp review today.
You still chasing it? You still chasing it?
I hate the Yelpers, man. And if any of y'all see this and you a Yelper, I'm sorry. You suck, man. Straight up, I hate
it. I'll be reading Yelps, man. You can tell some people just need somewhere to complain, man. Some people just, I'll look at a Yelp and I see a bad one. And if it ain't got nothing that I don't care about on there, I'm like, oh, man, this is just somebody having a bad day. I ain't worried about this. Man.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about Yelp gets under my skin.
So, man, going back to you, Devontae, for mindset, like developing your mindset, strengthening your mindset. Is there anything special you're reading for that? Anything you're doing to prepare for? I know you're big on meditation, things like that. Is there anything you have a go-to that kind of helps you get ready and prepare your mindset so you're hard and going into the new year?
Well, so initially with mindset, I did use a lot of resources, but I'm finding the best resource is like being calm. Meditation is a great tool for that. Being calm, I think, as a business owner, You just don't want to be. You want to be excited, but you want to be in control of your emotions, not your emotions controlling you. So being calm, and then doing a lot of imagination. I use a lot of imagination, imagining how I want things to be, and then watching my environment. So the maybe a couple years ago, I was reading the autobiography of a yogi. I read that book. A lot of books like deep books, like really deep books. But now, like I'm kind of like thinking simpler, which is I want to be the resource. Like I don't want to take someone else's experience and then apply it. I want to be engaged in my daily interactions with people, and then reflect on that and then apply that. There's another guy who talks about having a day at the end of the night when your day is over with, reimagining the day how you wanted it to be. Just going through and saying, I had this interaction with this person, it didn't go so well. Like today, I had an interaction with somebody with a dialysis center that was trying to blame me for their poor service. And the lady told me, and she was being dramatic. She was like, "You told me he's gonna be here 20 minutes, an hour ago." And I was like, "Ma'am, that's not true. That's ridiculous because I wouldn't have called you. I called you 20 minutes ago. Like it wasn't an hour ago. Like." And I was like, "Man, Tavante, you probably should use the word ridiculous. That was kind of unprofessional." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I kind of lost my cool a little bit. So I'm like, tonight I'm probably imagining, okay, how to interaction with people. How do I want it to go? It's like just taking my imagination to imagine how I want my day to be. And if you don't understand the power of that, just try it. It's just amazing because you start watching your environment really kind of forward into how you want it to be. So to answer your question, long story short, it's less of outside stuff. It's more inside stuff for me now. I want to be in control of that.
That's deep. That's deep. Shoot, how about you, Marcus? You got anything you kind of tune into to get your mindset and get ready for the new year?
Man, so I'm gonna have to pull the trigger on this one. I usually take off during Thanksgiving, and I didn't get that opportunity. And that's usually when I reset everything and kind of get prepped up. So I'm gonna have to take some time right before Christmas off and do that. So time with the family. And honestly, I just watched some anime, man, and just kind of
Yeah,
gotta chill.
I love it.
But it's just a way of just decompressing and just getting prepped because I go through the budgeting stuff. I do all that before. But that gives me a gap of pause between what I consider the past and going forward. So I can carry it over with me.
I like that. I like you hit a mental reset almost.
Oh yeah.
Let go of the year that transpired, learn from it, let go of the results of it, focus on the new year and budget out so you can beat whatever goals you had set the previous year.
That's huge.
I like that. It's huge, man. That's huge. Like actually taking that time out and actually doing that. Okay. So kind of piggybacking off of that, I heard you say budgeting, resetting for the year, things like that. I know you hate paperwork. I know that's not your thing. And I know you've learned some, I've been around with you through this journey and I've seen you learn some lessons of handling everything yourself and then kind of getting, outsourcing, having somebody else handle it. What has the difference been since you've kind of brought somebody else on? And, what do you suggest for somebody that's either thinking about doing it themselves, maybe thinks they can't afford it, or, how should they handle that?
Man. Yeah, man, I hate paperwork. I think it all kind of goes into systems too. So that's a loaded one, but let me see if I can unpack it a little bit. My stance is if you're running a business, you have to document what you do. And I think most people kind of get caught up in the day-to-day. They know how to do it, but when it's time to bring somebody on, for one, you have to take the time to train them. You have to have that time available and still be profitable and explain to them because they know absolutely nothing, and then still have the patience to understand that they're going to make mistakes because you didn't document how to do it. So it starts with documentation, and then you can kind of transition once you have everything documented. Now it's implementation. So just because I have it written down how to do it, you have to also think about how you're going to teach this information. Is some tasks will be easy just to put it in front of somebody. Some tasks are best taught, in a classroom type of setting. Some are hands-on experience type of tasks, but you have to understand how you're going to implement what you have documented. And then the next phase is, how do you measure what they're doing? And for me, they usually last about 3 to 4 months span from the beginning when they're hired until that, okay, this is what you did at the beginning. Take a look. This is how you've been performing the last 4 weeks. Take a look. And what are the questions, or what are the gaps that they have that you can be able to fill in as a leader, as the business owner?
Gotcha.
That's awesome. That's
document,
awesome.
document.
Oh yeah, you got to document that.
Well, document. You can also video, can't you? Video.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's
I was just going to ask. Yeah.
But I do like talking to my admin about stuff. I love talking and then letting her document. That's actually cool too. Because I don't.
Better.
That's got a player. That's got a player right there.
I don't want to do that. Plus, it just like I'm a talker, so talking things out is a really strong, consistent way for me to get my ideas out of my head. Because when you talk them out, sometimes it sounds stupid as fuck, and then you're like, "Oh, that's actually pretty genius." I didn't think about it that way. And
right.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't think about that. So, yeah. What about you, JD?
Man, which part?
There's so much you asked, Marcus.
Mindset or the preparation?
Well, I would say preparation. Well, you talked about already your mindset. You talked about your goal setting. You talked about your process of mapping out where you want to be at a certain time and how that's going to work out. I guess that is kind of mindset, right?
Yeah. No. That's, and I could spin off of that one too.
Process.
You say that again. I'm sorry.
Your mental process of mindset.
Okay. No worries, man. So for me, I'm I've been recently incorporating in the last couple of years, especially once I went 1099, of understanding the importance of that kind of reset, kind of similar to what Marcus has done. So I know, like for me, for example, last year, getting ready for my goal planning this year, I took a few days off and went to Long Beach and went to the ocean and just chilled out there, like literally took that time, disconnected. Really wasn't trying to take any inbound calls for new business, and just really just that time, like just sitting and writing out my goals. What do I want? How many houses I want to sell? How many flip opportunities I want to be in the process? How many seminars I want to go to continue my learning? All of this good stuff. I actually sat and wrote down. For me, because I'm big on being by big bodies of water, so ocean, lake, stuff like that. It kind of calms me. So for me, like, that's my reset. That's why I was so in tune with what Marcus was saying. Like, for me, that's a great reset because it just kind of keeps me calm. I feel very, very, feel very guru-y. I feel very at one with nature when I'm in that, in that kind of situation setting. And so for me, and it was awesome last year, like doing it like that, because I felt revived when I got back into the mix of doing everything. So for me, like, that's a big one, setting that time aside and kind of hitting that reset button, touching on some things that I've maybe read in the past that have either inspired me or gave me great motivation or taught me something, just retouching on those books, whether it be a book, a podcast, um, a seminar, some kind of learning technique that it really, really helped and touched on something that made me kind of convert what I was doing or help me change my habits. I'll retouch on some of those, just good mindset, but to make sure, because I think you'll get a lot of jewels and you'll forget. I notice with that stuff, like I'll go into a seminar, get some jewels, or I'll get a book and I'll get some jewels and I'll use them for about 2-3 months. And then I'll get another book or another seminar and start doing that stuff. And so I like to go back and touch on some things that really, really inspired me or helped me convert some habits, and I'll retouch on those because I may catch something new or to respark something that was already in me. And so that's kind of where that's where I get a lot of my mindset from. Also, one of the big ones I really, really touched on in the last about year and a half was groups like this, having a mastermind, like meeting with you guys once a week, meeting with like-minded people, like people we've been having on the podcast, talking to them, basically really, really constructing my circle with people that are either on the same mindset or trying to do what I'm trying to do or trying to do better than I'm trying to do, because that automatically makes me level up and it keeps me away from bad habits. Like it's that whole show me the 5 people you hang with, I'll show you what your future's gonna look like. Like I don't, I'm big on football, but I try not to be in a lot of groups that are just about football anymore, because that's not putting money in my pocket. That's not setting me up for generational wealth. Like now I'm really, really hungry to be in circles like this, because, when I hear somebody say, yeah, man, I made such and such, I'm making 6 figures a month, making 5 figures a month. It tells me it's possible. I just need to really, really listen to this person and be in tune with what this person is saying so I can learn it. And so those are some of the big key ones for me preparing to get ready for the new year. It's just making sure I'm always learning something new. I'm resetting the clock, like you said, Marcus, letting go of the past, focusing on the future, and really taking that time to myself and my goals, because they're that important to me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hey man, I hope 2021 was a successful year for everyone watching. You guys, I know we've been making headways. And 2022 is going to be excellent down the pipeline. Only if you execute, only if you prepare, and only if you believe that you can take that next step. So, woosah. I feel like we've been on a roller coaster.
For real.
So the Triple Profit Podcast, again, another Thursday. This is going to be our last live for the year of 2021. Didn't start 2021 thinking that we were going to even do a video podcast or such, but we're going to take this and I'm going to make it so that way we're on all the streaming platforms come next year. So we've got a lot of videos that we built up, a couple live ones, a couple that we, recorded offline. And I feel like if we continue this momentum, go forward, not only will we be able to help out people, but we talk through some stuff on here that kind of, like you said, JD, it helps keep us on that path of success. So I look forward to next year when we're talking about, Tavante's fleet all over the state of Indiana and beyond. JD's taking over all the real estate in California and beyond. And
yes, sir.
Zip, we're going to be nationwide come next year.
Oh man, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about you guys doing your thing.
Talk that talk.
I feel it, man.
I love it.
But don't forget, REI Financial is the reason why we're here. We help out business owners with all your financial needs. I sound like a real estate agent.
You totally did. That was it. You want full corporate commercial right there. That was
right.
But yeah, send us a message, contact us if you're trying to get funding for your business, if you're just starting out, if you're already in business and you hit an operational gap or a cash flow gap and you don't have the resources to go through to get the money, or just have a talk to see if you have other resources to get out of your situation. Reach out to us. We'll reply to you. But again, guys, great year. JD, you want to give us something, Devontae, before we close?
Well, actually, on my mind right now, it's just I think it's I like talking big shit sometimes. It just feels good to talk big shit. So I want to hear from each of you all, and I'm gonna give my goal for next year. Like,
I like it.
Just one goal. My goal is by the end of next year to have a complete division cash flowing and prepared to bring on division partners. Revenue partners is what I'm calling them. So I'm talking about 5 vehicles, fully functioning, running without me, and be ready to develop a opportunity for other like-minded people to come in and join me as a revenue partner. That's my goal.
Okay. All right. I'll go next, man. And I've been building towards this already. So for my appliance repair company, we're going to be in 4 cities by the end of next year, and we're going to have revenues over 2 million. And it's not necessarily about the revenue, but it's about how can I take this business and be able to scale it. Just like you're saying, man, I want people to be able to come in and participate down the line. But my biggest goal next year is to make that big impact, be over 2 million in revenue, have locations to be able to just, for one, to be diversified in different areas, just in case, we have a big national disaster, it won't cut off all revenue streams. So you can diversify in your business by going into different areas. So that's my biggest goal.
Shoot, for me, I am trying to, on the retail side, have 37 deals for the year done, helping 37, whether that be first-time homeowners, people looking to sell their home, or even investors, find that investment property, get 37 deals off of that. I also want to do 15 deals on the wholesale flip side, particularly if I want to at least 15 wholesales and do my first own full flip going into next year. So that's my goal. I've partnered with some people on flips before, but haven't done my own. So I want to be strong enough and ready enough to have that set. Then secondary goal, I've told Marcus this because I know he expanding to my hometown next. So I'm trying to be part of that zip journey when it joins. Awesome. So I already told I wasn't ready when he approached me the first time. Zip was being incubated, but I told him, I said the next time especially once he gets into my hometown, I want to be a part of that. So that's one of my goals, is to be able to partner with my brother on that and get this thing growing, as he said, even further out.
Awesome. Right. Well, that's it right there. It's on video.
It's on video now. It's on video. We got 12 months to get it right. Or like Devontae said, we're gonna let Devontae talk big shit to us. I'm sure.
3 million. We're going 3 million.
Ooh. See, Devontae, you done turned him up. Yeah, man. I love it. I really want to go back. This is gonna be fun holding ourselves accountable for this, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, once again, guys, thanks